At the break of dawn, the Leaning Tower of Pisa stands as a testament to architectural failure, its dramatic tilt casting long shadows over the white marble. Weighing over 14,000 tons, this structure defies gravity with every passing second, challenging our understanding of balance and stability in a truly breathtaking way today. Beneath its grand exterior lies a story of haunting uncertainty. These cracks tell a tale of a building that has spent centuries on the edge of collapse. From every corner of the globe, people arrive to capture a single moment with this legendary error, making it the most photographed architectural mistake in human history. There is an unsettling energy here, a feeling that the laws of physics are being bent. It is not just a tower, it is a bold provocation. How did a building intended to be a symbol of pride become a symbol of instability? The answer lies deep beneath the soil of the Italian landscape. To understand this mystery, we must travel back 800 years to a time when ambition blinded architects to the treacherous reality of the ground beneath. This is the story of a war against nature, a series of desperate repairs, and a miracle that turned a catastrophic blunder into an immortal work of art. In 1173, the wealthy city of Pisa began its grandest project. Little did they know, the ground beneath the square was a trap of soft mud. The foundation was built on an uneven mixture of clay and silt. While one side rested on firmer ground, the other was sinking into a river's legacy. Architects of the time laid a foundation only 3 meters deep. For a structure destined to reach 56 meters, this was a recipe for an inevitable disaster. By the time the third floor was finished, the tower had already begun its slow surrender. The southern side sank faster, pulling the entire structure into a lean. Construction halted abruptly, not because they realized the danger, but because Pisa was suddenly plunged into a brutal war with its neighboring cities for several long decades. War inadvertently saved the tower. The long pause allowed the soil to settle and compress under the weight, preventing it from toppling over before it was finished. Nearly a century later, engineers returned with a desperate plan. They decided to continue building, hoping they could somehow correct the tilt through clever architectural adjustments. They built the subsequent floors higher on one side to compensate for the lean. In theory, it seemed logical, but it only added more weight to the problem. Instead of straightening the tower, they made it curve. Most visitors do not notice that the tower is actually shaped like a giant banana, bent by history. And the addition of heavy bronze bells at the summit only complicated the physics. Each chime sent vibrations through the structure, potentially shaking its very foundation to pieces. For centuries, the tower hummed with the resonance of these bells. No one knew that every toll was a tiny shove, pushing the monument closer to its limit. Yet, the tower refused to fall. It became a living paradox, a monument to human error that somehow survived the passage of time and the forces of nature. The secret to its survival is hidden in the very soil that caused its tilt. Science calls it soil-structure interaction, a phenomenon that protects it from earthquakes. The soft ground acts as a natural shock absorber. When the earth shakes, the mud beneath the tower prevents the destructive energy from reaching the rigid stone structure. By 1990, the tower was leaning at a critical 5.5 degrees. Experts warned that it would collapse within decades if immediate action was not taken. For the first time in history, the tower was closed to the public. An international team of engineers began a secret mission to save Italy's most famous icon. They did not use cranes to pull it. Instead, they carefully removed soil from underneath the high side, allowing the tower to slowly sink back into safety. Steel cables acted as a safety net during the delicate operation. Every millimeter of movement was tracked with extreme precision to avoid a catastrophic and sudden structural failure. After 11 years of work, the tilt was reduced to 3.9 degrees. This was enough to ensure the tower stays standing for another 300 years. They could have made it perfectly straight, but they chose not to. They knew that a straight tower would lose its soul and its place in human history. To truly understand Pisa, you must step inside. Here, the error is no longer an abstract concept. It is something you feel with every single step you take. So the 294 steps are a journey through a distorted reality. One moment you are pushed against the wall, the next you feel like falling. These stones have been polished by the feet of pilgrims, scientists, and tourists for 800 years. Each step is a physical record of humanity's obsession with this. Looking out from the narrow windows, the world itself seems to have tilted. It is a disorienting experience that forces your brain to recalibrate its sense of balance. In 1589, a young Galileo used this very tilt for science. He dropped two spheres of different masses to prove that they fall at the exact same. The tower's mistake provided the perfect laboratory for a revolution in physics. A building that was supposed to be a failure helped rewrite the laws of the universe. Hidden in the shadows are the marks of those who came before. Names and dates carved into marble, left by people who were just as mesmerized as we. At the summit, the bells remain silent sentinels of the past. They represent the original purpose of the tower, now overshadowed by its accidental fame and unique beauty. From up here, the view is magnificent, but the lean is ever present. You are standing on a monument that has survived against all odds for nearly a millennium. As the sun sets over Tuscany, the Leaning Tower of Pisa continues its silent, crooked vigil. It is a masterpiece born from the very earth that tried to. If it had been straight, it would have been just another bell tower. But its flaw gave it a personality that the world could never choose to ignore. It has weathered storms, wars, and the relentless march of time. Every year, it draws 5 million souls who find beauty in its struggle to remain standing tall. The artistry of the Pisan craftsman is often forgotten in the shadow of the tilt. Yet, the marble work is among the finest in all of medieval Europe. Even the rain follows a different path here. The tower's lean dictates the flow of water and the play of light, creating a living piece of dynamic architecture. It serves as a permanent classroom for engineers and artists alike. It teaches us that even the most grounded plans can be redirected by the forces of nature. Look at the columns. They are not uniform. Each one was a desperate attempt to fix what was already broken, creating a gallery of beautiful, well-intentioned mistakes. In the heart of Pisa, this tower is more than a tourist attraction. It is a symbol of resilience, a reminder that we can stand even when we. The interior is a hollow cylinder, a secret stone throat that has echoed with the voices of centuries. Its design is as brilliant as its foundation was flawed. It stands as part of a sacred complex, a trio of marble giants. But while the others reached for perfection, the tower chose a different, more human path. The illusion of falling is constant, and it plays with our senses and our fears, forcing us to confront the fragility of the things we build with our hands. Today, it is the most monitored building on Earth. Every breath of wind and every shift in the soil is recorded by a network of high-tech digital sensors. The center of gravity is the invisible thread holding it up. If that red dot ever moves beyond the base, the tower will finally succumb to the Earth. The river Arno, which brought wealth to Pisa, also brought the mud that nearly toppled its pride. It is a story of nature giving and taking away. Countless saviors have come with grand ideas. Some would have destroyed it. Others were simply impossible. But the tower outlasted every single one of their complex plans. There is a strange peace in its imperfection. It does not try to be something it is not. It simply exists, leaning as it has always done. Its shadow is a giant clock measuring the hours of the centuries, and it has seen the rise and fall of empires while itself remaining in a state. At the base, you can see the truth. The stone sinks into the grass, a physical representation of the ongoing dialogue between the heavy marble and the ground. When the tourists go home, the tower remains, a lonely, tilted sentinel in the dark, guarding the secrets of the mud and the ghosts of its builders. Everything depends on these tiny grains of sand and clay. The fate of 14,000 tons of marble rests on the friction between these microscopic particles of soil. Photography was born, evolved, and changed, but the tower remained the same. It is a constant in a world that is always moving, always striving for new things. To touch this marble is to touch the 1200s. It is a bridge across time, built on a mistake, but sustained by our collective human will today. Most monuments celebrate our triumphs. Pisa celebrates our persistence. It shows us that we can find a way to live with our errors and make them iconic. Even the most violent storms have failed to knock it down. It stands as a defiant middle finger to the forces that would see it destroyed forever. If you look from the right angle, the curve is undeniable. It is an architectural scar, a visible memory of the panic and the cleverness of architects. Children see it for what it is, a giant, impossible toy. They don't care about the physics, they just see the magic of a world gone crooked today. Modern engineering has performed a miracle of its own. By doing almost nothing visible, they have ensured that the tower's leaning dance will continue for centuries to come. It is the heart of its city, a crooked pulse that keeps Pisa alive. Without its lean, the city would be just another beautiful stop in Italy. We are drawn to it because it reflects ourselves. We are all a little bit leaning, a little bit flawed, and we all hope to stay standing. Yet in its reflection, we see the beauty of the unconventional. It teaches us that perfection is not the only way to achieve immortality in this world today. The architects of the past left their fingerprints in the very shape of the arches. They were fighting a losing battle, and yet they never quit trying. As night falls, the tower becomes a ghost of itself. A haunting reminder that the things we think are broken can be the most precious of all. We watch it like a sleeping giant, making sure it doesn't move too much. Our technology is the guardian of its ancient and beautiful structural failure and history. It has outlasted the architects, the kings, and the wars. It stands as a monument to the unexpected, a masterpiece that was never meant to be perfectly straight. From a mistake in 1173 to a global icon in the 21st century, the Leaning Tower of Pisa has earned its place in our collective hearts. It is a story of gravity, grit, and the grace of a mistake, at a structure that refused to fall and a world that refused to let it go. Ultimately, the Leaning Tower of Pisa is a celebration of human imperfection. It reminds us that our greatest errors can sometimes become our most enduring and famous. So, the next time you see this crooked tower, remember, some things don't need to be straight to be perfect. Sometimes the lean is absolutely everything we need.